Hello and welcome to Lesson 17, page 116. This is the song titled Seagulls in our Pre-Level 1 book. And right now I'm on page 114 because students, guess what? We have a brand new note to learn today called C sharp. So let's do some review of our symbols really quick. Remember, our flat symbol is this little B that we like to call it. Looks like a little B. And our flat symbol, for example, if we were on this note here, E, and we went down to the next closest note, that would be E flat, we might call this, right? Because we went down. But we need the sharp symbol today. Remember, it kind of looks like a tic-tac-toe board, we said. So there we go. The sharp symbol, it does the opposite of the flat. The flat makes notes go down. The sharp makes notes go up. So let's look. C sharp. Well, we find the note C. I'll do that on my piano as well. Here's a group of two black keys. Find the note C. And I need to go up to the next closest note to find C sharp, which is this first black key in the group of two. Nice. See if you can find all the C sharps on your keyboard or piano. That's what I'm doing right now. All right. I found all the C sharps. Take all the time you need. So C sharp is the first black key in the group of two black keys. And look here, they said, remember, C sharp is dog ear number 1. What does that mean? Well, remember earlier in our Mayron Cole books, we were learning that D, the key in between the two black keys, was D for dog. And it was almost like these two black keys were like two black doggy ears. So the first one is C sharp is our note, okay? And we're going to be using other notes in our song today other than C sharp. Let's scroll down and see seagulls on page 116. Okay, there we go. And look, we also need in this song F sharp. So let's review how to find F sharp as well. It's just like finding C sharp. We find the note F. Remember, F is the front door of our group of three black keys, so the first key. And we go up one right here. It's the first black key in the group of three black keys is F sharp. Let's do the same thing and try and find all the F sharps on our piano or keyboard. Great work finding all our F sharps and C sharps. But students, we have a lot of notes in this song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then another D, but we'll call it 8 because it's a higher D that we're going to also use when we play seagulls. So 8 fingers we do have, but that can be kind of tricky to place all on the keyboard if we haven't experimented with that. So I'm going to give you a couple of options to help today in order to play this song. Because lucky for us, it uses dotted half notes through the whole song. So that kind of gives us time to move our fingers around to get ready to press the next key when we need it. So we may not need to cover all the keys in this song. But let's find all the notes we need first. The notes we need today are D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and another D. Whoa, so many. But that's okay. We know all these notes. I'm going to use this D to start the song that's below middle C. So here's middle C, and I'm going to go down to this group of two black keys down here and find D. There's D. And next to D is E. After that, we have F sharp, so we're skipping the front door, going up to F sharp, and a G. So there's our first 4 notes. Now we could place 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers on here. Maybe you haven't used your pinky yet in your piano playing. This could be a good time to experiment with that. If you find it's really tricky, don't worry. I'm going to give you another option. But that's the first option is for the first 4 notes in our song. I'm going to use 4 fingers in my left hand to cover it, which means the next 4 notes, which are A, right next to G here, B, C sharp. Remember, that's our new note, C sharp, skipping over C, and D. That's where I'll put my next 4 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that could be one way you play this song. And these notes are actually creating something a little more advanced called a scale, which we'll learn eventually in our books when we play all the notes in a row. So this is one way we can cover all the notes in our song, but this feels like a lot. But if you can manage it and use your pinkies to play your piano as well, that's wonderful. So definitely practice with that. Another option I think is going to be to use 2 fingers in each hand. You might be saying, what, 2 fingers to play 8 notes? Well, I think we have lots of time to jump around to these keys since the only rhythm in this song is a dotted half note. So I would say 2 fingers on D and E, and then maybe 2 fingers up here near C sharp and D, and we can kind of fill in the notes in between and reach for them when we need them. So that's another option I would say, is 2 fingers in each hand that are ready to move a little bit, okay? All right, so let's hop in to the first line of Seagulls. Well, it starts with our piano symbol, which means to be soft, but we can wait to add that in until we're more comfortable with the music, okay? But just know we can play this softly if we want when we practice. So we start with C sharp, D, C sharp, D. Well, let's use the C sharp and D that are in our picture here on top. So this is going to be C sharp and D. And we're doing dotted half notes for the whole first line. Let's clap 4 dotted half notes in a row. Remember, that's held for 3 beats each, just to get our steady beat going. We're going to clap it. 1, 2, 3. First line, clap. Hold, 2, 3. Again, hold, 2, 3. 2 more. Hold, 2, 3. Hold, 2, 3. Excellent job. Now, that's the rhythm we're going to use for the entire song, Seagulls. So you've just kind of cracked the rhythmic code of this song. Let's talk about those notes again. C sharp, 2, 3, and D. So that's how we're going to start this song. C sharp, D. You could even use really 1 finger if you wanted to. Let's try it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. First line, play, C sharp, 2, 3, and D, 2, 3. C sharp, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, and off. Excellent job. And remember, for all these lines as an extra challenge, you can play them piano or soft if you'd like. But if that kind of messes up our notes, don't worry about that. We'll add that a little later when you're more comfortable with the song, okay? I'll add that maybe in our first performance of Seagulls at the end of the video. Okay, so next line, still 4 dotted half notes, but we have B, B, A, A. Well, let's find those notes. Here we just played students C sharp and D. And you might go, oh, B, what? But we just made a huge leap to get there. Let's go back to our C sharp and D. There's our C sharp and D. And we just need to move down only a little bit right here to B. Here's C sharp. So I'm just going to move my finger here. I'm kind of doing that use 2 finger pattern. And we're going to move down to to B. And hold a B, 2, 3. Another B, 2, 3. And then down to A, which is right next to our B. A, 2, 3, A, 2, 3. So that's why that 4 finger pattern here would work. We do that would be mega fast for the first 2 lines, but it's just playing the notes on where our fingers could be. But I'm just going to use 2 and move around. All right, here we go. Let's try line number 2. B for 3, B for 3, A for 3, A for 3. 1, 2, 3. Second line, play. B, 2, 3. B, 2, 3. Now A, 2, 3. A, 2, 3, and off. Great job. Moving on to line number 3, we have G, E, F sharp, and D. Students, now we're starting to really jump around on our notes here because we've kind of been moving to notes right next to each other on the first 2 lines. But now we're playing a G, and I'm going to use my left hand here. And then we have to jump down skip over F and F sharp down to E. And then go up to F sharp. And then down to D. So it kind of seems like a pattern. We skip over a key, go up, and skip over another key. Really 2 keys, right? So let's try line number 3 nice and slow. We're going to start at G, jump down to E, up to F sharp, down to D. Take it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, line 3, play, play. G, 2, 3, and E, 2, 3. Now F sharp, 2, 3, down to D, 2, 3, and off. Fantastic work. And moving to our last line, we have E, C sharp, D, D. Students, I've had a little bit of 2 different ways to play this at the end. I've usually give my students the choice because it's kind of interesting how they write this in the book. So we start with E, and we were just playing D, so that means we'd play this E right here. For me, when we move to C sharp, it would make the most sense to go right here to this C sharp before coming back to D. Now that C sharp isn't really written in our notes up here, so it's possible that the melody of this song will want us to play E for 2, 3, and then jump back up to this C sharp and then to this D. You can do it any way you'd like. I actually think it would make a little more sense to do this all in one space, but I think I actually am going to make the jump when we play the song just because I like the way that it sounds. So you can do either one though, and it's going to sound the same, right? We could do E, 2, 3, then 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Very similar, and then another D after. So very similar ending. Let's try the last line. I'm going to do E, C sharp, D, D. 1, 2, 3. Last line, play. Play. E, 2, 3. C sharp, 2, 3. D, 2, 3. One more. D, 2, 3, and off. Great job on completing Seagulls, and let's get ready for our first full song performance. And we're going to do one performance of Seagulls without the metronome and one with, going back to line number 1. Remember to add in that piano playing. It does say repeat softer in this song, so the recording of the song, I'm sure, goes through the song twice. We're just going to go through it once, but you would just go back to the beginning after playing the last note and play the song once again, even softer, it says, than maybe you did before. Okay? So there's an extra practice challenge if you would like. So back at line number 1, here we go. Hands ready. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Play C sharp, 2, 3. D, 2, 3. C sharp, 2, 3. D, 2, 3. Second line. B, 2, 3. B, 2, 3. A, 2, 3. A, 2, 3. Third line, G, 2, 3, E, 2, 3, F sharp, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, E, 2, 3, C sharp, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, and off. Great job with your first full performance of Seagulls. Now we're going to try it with our metronome at 55 beats per minute. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, here we go. C sharp, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, C sharp, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, B, 2, 3, B, 2, 3, A, 2, 3, A, 2, 3, G, 2, 3, E, 2, 3, F sharp, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, E, 2, 3, C sharp, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, D, 2, 3, and off. Congratulations on completing Seagulls. Students, this is the last song, kind of standalone song in the Pre-Level 1 book. After this, there's only 3 ensembles left, and it's all different ensembles of songs you've actually already played in this book. So this is kind of like completing like a last step of the Pre-Level 1 book as far as your just single songs go. So really congratulations on making it this far. You're almost ready for Level 1, and I will see you on the next song.